All right, guys, welcome to the Space Bro Show. I am Mitauchi, your host, and I have a whole line of streamers from Star Citizen with us tonight, where we're going to get you updated on what's been going on, what we've experienced this week, and just all the other great happenings around CIG and Star Citizen. So let's start out with all the way down at the end. Opposite of me, we have Kato.
Hey, what's up, guys?
There we go. And then, of course, the ever famous holder of all truths and holder of the security station, Sophie Girl. Yep. Here we go. Don't go to the security station. Sophie Girl's there. We have here down towards the middle, we have Mr. PR Stoutman. Stoutman, how are you doing tonight?
Hey guys, how you doing?
There you go. We have my cohort, good friend and fellow gunner and killer and trainer of all people who like FPS, Toy Grubbin in the house.
Hey guys.
There you go. We have Zealous Fox ever sporting his new decor for Star Citizen stuff. Hey Zealous, how are you doing tonight, buddy?
Good.
And we have the ultimate trainer of all pilots and all things that are good in the world, and fellow, although published author, I like to write too, but Eric's done some great work. You need to check it out. Eric McKetton in the house tonight, guys.
Hello, everybody.
There we go. All right, guys. Well, this has been an exciting week for us, I think, in Star Citizen. We've had a nice little bump up, and they've tried to release us a surprise, although I'd have to say, although I'm excited about it, I think we can all agree there's some mixed results on the surprises and stuff. So, so what was your experience like this week, Kato? What do you think so far with what you've seen with the patch and all that stuff? We'll start at the end. We'll go through everybody real quick.
I have a confession to make.
You have? Oh, here we go. I knew I was going to put it on the spot.
I haven't even downloaded it yet.
Oh, busted.
What are you even doing here?
I'm sorry.
See,
I'm going to be like the only citizen who
wasting
has
everybody's
right
time.
Yeah. And I know Toy's going to call him out on it like all night after he gets done wrestling his green screen.
Yeah, I'm going to catch a lot of shit.
Yeah,
sorry.
It's so bad.
From what I hear, it sounds great. I mean, lots of people messing around in their vanguards and all that stuff. So that was the big surprise they were talking about, and I think it was a pretty good surprise. But hey,
I think so too. I'm glad they're pressing to get stuff out and stuff like that. I think maybe they should have done a little of a P2 pass, but we'll hear from everybody else what they think and what their experience. Sophie, how was your week been?
Yes, week has been great. Here's what happened. So I was streaming while I was downloading, right? So I thought that the Saber was going to be ready for about 3 minutes, maybe 5 minutes. I was under the impression that I'd be able to get into my hangar, get into that Saber.
That would have been awesome.
But it's okay. It's the Vanguard. Vanguard's super cool. I just don't own a Vanguard. Yeah. But had a great time playing. I think I streamed for 12 hours yesterday and had...
That's it?
Yeah. It was great.
You were streaming before I was, and when some of us woke up, you were still streaming. So you did a whole nice marathon stream. That was pretty awesome.
Yep, that's what happened. So I pleased with everything so far.
Okay, that's cool. Well, let's hear from Stoutman. Stoutman not only got to experience 2.1 live, he also had a great stream himself where he had his brother-in-law on, and I thought it was really good, and he had all sorts of good questions, and allowed me and Eric and the other streamers to kind of torment them a little bit in chat. Not too bad, but it was fun. Stoutman, how was your week so far?
I've had a good week. It was, I was kind of crazy trying to prepare for that, and it just kind of came together at the last moment. Because I'm like, Brian, when do you want to do it? He's like, you tell me. I'm like, no, you tell me. It's like, I've got more open schedule, so I made him do it when he was at work instead of doing it at home. Instead of Saturday morning for him, he did it Friday morning. And then that went on. That was an hour and a half.
Oh yeah, it was long. We were making comments about that. How long it went on. It was great to have that kind of exposure. Let the poor man go.
Then afterwards, we dumped everything on Sophie. She had to come back online to continue. So.
Yeah, that's good. Good stuff.
It's a good time.
Yeah. I hosted Sophie after that too, and God, I don't know how long you'd been awake, Sophie, but you were just staring at the screen and playing. And I don't. And if Toy Grubin hadn't been there, I don't think you would have been able to figure out how to go forward by that point.
Actually, I was doing just fine. I was in the zone. What you were seeing was the zone. At that point, I had taken over Korea. Since you brought it up, Eric, I had taken over Korea, and I was really holding it down. So. I'm just saying, there's a little skill involved there.
Jeez.
But
turned into a beast.
There you
That's
go.
for sure.
It's true.
And that's what I wanted to touch on with you, Troy. I mean, I don't know what type of methods you used or what type of waterboarding or whatever type of stuff's going on there, but you've trained a real monster over there when it comes to Korea. What have you done? What have you?
Do you remember
done?
when I first was like, I can't shoot. I don't know. It could be a friendly person, and now I'm like, you all will die.
There you go.
That first day, it was like every 2 minutes, you need to pull out your gun again. You need to pull out your gun again.
Yep.
Yeah. Now she's almost like reactive. I think there's like a certain type of clap or whistle you do, and she goes into combat mode. She'll kill everybody in the room.
It's just a killer instinct.
Oh man!
I'm telling you, at one point we had there were a group of 10 of them coming over against me and her, and we'd wipe them all out. It was awesome.
Yeah, you guys are
that's
deadly
so awesome.
on the FPS side down there. That's pretty awesome to see. I like it. So, any other thoughts on like what you think about the patch so far and the pushing to live?
You know, it's been really steady up until I woke up. I went to bed a little earlier than she did tonight, but I got on earlier than her, and it was really laggy this morning for some reason. I don't know what happened in that hour I went to bed and came up, but
There's a lot of people downloading and a lot of people getting in, so it's just really crowded, I think. And they're maxing the servers out all the time with 16 people.
Yeah.
So every server's packed, which I kind of wish that they'd leave like one open or something, so like a friend on your contact list can get in or something. It's really hard now because people aren't getting kicked off every 5 minutes like we were a couple weeks ago. Now it's like I've tried 50, 100 times to get in with people saying I can't sometimes.
Well,
it's like,
and that's something. Yeah, that's something that me and Eric and me and Toy have all talked about separately. Is the fact that people, because it's more stable and people are staying on, it's harder to get in. But it's also, I think, related to the zoning issue where they haven't been able to break that 16 barrier quite yet. But I'm sure we'll get into that and stuff. So, Zealous, how's your week been so far, buddy?
I haven't played live yet, but I did get to play with the G or H. I can't remember what the last one was.
another one that hasn't played live, really.
I'm not the only one.
I download.
Fire them
it.
both.
But he,
Hey, at least he downloaded
Yeah,
it.
he at
made
least
some effort.
downloaded it, Kato. The only reason you're still here, sir, is because you're the closest thing we have to an Eric McKetton lookalike in the whole channel.
That's right.
So
And
We
we,
had the beard.
we bookend this really nicely, don't we?
there you go. We have to keep
Two
it
bald ginger beards on either end. We hold this
right.
together.
Yeah, I don't really have the full. I got more of a little hybrid gray going on, but we try to balance it out. We have full gray and the different layers of gray and haircuts and stuff. So that's the way it goes. But anyway,
Supreme Leader Sophie girl.
there you go, Supreme Leader.
I mean, I'm working on growing a little something out. I was watching Kevin Flint today, and he was talking about hair management. So either you style down here and leave this messy. This is what I learned today, or you reverse it. And so I'm working on it.
Or you just do what at least, three of us, maybe four of us now are doing, which is just let it go away up on top.
There
and
you go.
Don't worry about it at all.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, that
Focus
could be a
on the beard.
possibility.
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't
Sophie.
fight the feeling. I just shave it.
Grab your sock and put it right there. You'll match them perfectly.
There you go. We're the sock beard.
Did you go on the beard here? Is that what we're doing?
Oh, dude, that's your pirate name now, Sockbeard. Since you got the whole sock thing going on, Sophie Sockbird.
the
Arr.
pirates.
That's perfect.
Yep.
Perfect. There you go.
I'm calling you that whether you like it or not. From
It
now
is.
on.
Sophie
Sockbeard.
Sockbeard. Okay. Well,
It's on. There it is. So, Eric, how's your week been, buddy?
It's been good. I really enjoyed Stoutman's stream as well. I also enjoyed what people didn't get to see is Mitauchi and I were in Discord while the stream was going, chatting back and forth and arguing with the people in chat, but only where we could hear it. Like, you can't ask him that. He's not going to answer that. He wants to keep his job.
Yeah. We were being the peanut gallery shouting from the cheap seats back there. We were going, "Oh no! Oh, that guy asked that. I can't believe he said that too. What's he doing?" It's like
you can't control that. They're going to ask it no matter what. Just look at the CIG community chat when you've got on the Friday Reverse the Verse. You got people asking the same question every 2 minutes. Repost, and they keep getting it. I was watching it yesterday. I'm just one of those tell some of these people to shut up. They're not going to answer it.
I will point out one thing on your stream specifically too, Stout. You had a lot of new people. There were some people on there that I had referrals from just in the last 48 hours that were on your stream watching, so they're pretty new to the whole show. So I can accept some of that repetitive stuff, but when we see guys there that are like there for 5-6 weeks and they're like ask. It's like a 10 for the writers, and you see like people like follow up on that, and they're asking about like ship parts and stuff. It's just guys, keep it in context.
Yeah, well, Brian twittered on that, so we got a bunch of people in just from that alone. We got hopefully some new people in that'll come watch all of us on a regular basis.
I think it'd be good to get more people more vocal in the community. I think too, because there's people that are out there that just don't watch Twitch that much. God forbid, but I think that they, they're vocal on the forums, but they don't take the time to come in and get involved in the conversation. And don't make no mistake, here is where the conversation is live and it happens with CIG and everything else. So more people need to be involved with the people that are streaming and in the community as a whole. So I think that's good.
Well, you get a lot of people do not watch all the videos that they put out every week, and they're asking questions that have already been answered, which is really just kind of a waste of everybody's time. But
that's part of why we're here, though.
It's going to happen. It's going to happen.
It's part of why we're here, though. I mean, we can direct people that information. It's like you can lead a horse to water. You can't make them drink it, though.
Well, you can drown them.
You could. I don't know what that would do for.
Just take him to Korea and let Sophie, sick Sophie on him.
God forbid CIG ever handles you for PR. That'd be kind of. That'd be a bad move there. No, but I think like I was saying before, I think with Brian, it would be good for him in his format. And I know he wants to try to answer anything, but if we stick in what their expertise in his area is in, and then we put it out there for people to ask questions within this specific disciplines, like if he knows he's going to talk to these certain people over at his offices and stuff, then we could probably get more poignant questions that would actually relate to that, and then get those cleared. So I think that'd be good.
I think if we get a regular thing going where like if I have him on like every 2 weeks, for example, and then maybe he'll do one other show every other week or something like that. I don't think we're going to get him to go every single week, but if we kind of get close to it and we give him 10, 15 questions every week, and he can come back, and some of them he'll get an answer in a couple days, some of them may take a month to get an answer. And I know that he can come back with a lot of stuff. Plus, if they get used to it and it becomes a regular thing, they could start using that as a way to pass out more information too. If we get it as a regular thing and they all get used to it, I think that could be beneficial to the community and to CIG.
I'd like to thank Eric for the head scratches. They're really nice. I like them. They make me feel better and more relaxed.
I was trying to figure out what he was doing. I had
if you watch the stream, it's a lot better.
Like, what's going on?
I probably should move.
I figured out directions.
Yeah.
I know where everybody's at now.
Well, see, this is the perfect test here. Who wants a drink? We got to practice the task.
Here, we'll just move Mitauchi. We'll move Mitauchi around, and then everybody can rub my head now and then. So it'd be like the talking stick. We'll just move me around different areas. So, but no. So I think the beginning of this week, I was really feeling good about where they were at with stuff. I think they've kind of patched it up to where I feel like I'm back into where I don't remember if it was C or D, Eric, that you thought the most stable patch they've had up to now.
D was the most stable. I'll be right back though. I'm being paged by the family.
Go ahead and do that thing. But I felt like D was probably the most stable. But up to now, I feel like we're getting back to where D was, because there's been so many residual patches between now and then where it was just constantly it had either failed or just like felt like we were going backwards in certain aspects, or they'd add a new element to it. I don't know, and Eric had to walk away right now, but I don't know if it was a good idea that they released the Vanguard in the way they did. I think it was cool they did, but I think there's a lot of issues with it still.
It's a multiplayer ship, and so far everyone they've released, it's been buggy. It's just you've got that instance thing, and every time they add a big chunk of new code, it's going to make other bugs pop up that just weren't visible before, and we got to work through it, and we're just going to have to get used to it.
Yeah,
and a lot of the issues, a lot of the instability is on the server. So it's not up to what we download; it's up to how they're tweaking the servers with the new code. And
it's a little bit of that. I think it's also the one thing I can say in the positive light is with them releasing the Vanguard. I felt like from it initially just now coming out, it was a lot more stable and less glitchy than the Freelancer. Because when they originally handed us the Freelancer in the PTU, we were like, "Oh my god, you just fall through the thing every 5 seconds." you couldn't really ride it all that. It's
same thing with the Connie. I've pulled the Connie out 3-4 times in a row, and I've fallen through the floor.
Yeah,
I thought they did a great job with the release of the Vanguard. You were able to get into the ship. You were able to load into the turret. You were able to get into the engineering station.
Yep.
Yeah.
You could dogfight. You could get
interact
into
with the shields right off the bat in there. So that was really good. I mean,
I just had wanted to get into the Saber, but that's just
I know. I'm in that wheelhouse with you. It's like I was so excited. I was, the Saber will be there because it's hangar ready. It just makes sense, and they tricked us.
It surprised us. That's what it was. It was a surprise.
I know, but there's still a lot of issues with the Vanguard though, and me and Eric.
It wasn't that much of a surprise though. For those of us that entertain ourselves by digging through the files, we saw that it was essentially flight ready in the very first drop of the 2.1 PTU. They just hadn't flipped a switch to turn it on. So, but we were expecting them to drop it in the PTU before they dropped it in the live game, so that it could actually be tested out, which is something they didn't do. And that's,
well, they want to surprise us, which is cool. You know, I appreciate that.
But I get that in the normal PTU sense when they do a normal PTU, but this PTU everybody was invited, everybody could join in. That's where I don't necessarily understand the let's rush it out to surprise people without testing it mentality.
Yeah, and that's confusing to me.
It has destroyed Arena Commander. I mean, I don't know how often you guys have tried since yesterday, but I spent 40 minutes today trying to find a single match. In 40 minutes, I found one match and had 3 people. And that was in both Squadron Battle and Battle Royale on all 4 maps, because nobody wants to risk going up against the Vanguard right now, not because it's overpowered, but because killing it doesn't give you any points. And if you damage it too much, you lose the ability to target it, so then it gets to do whatever it wants willy-nilly until the guy flying it decides to die, basically.
Well, they should just block it from Arena Commander then until they fix it.
Yeah,
that's another thing is that the reason why we don't have the other multi-crew ships in is because apparently Chris made the decision, and this Disco Lando said this recently. Chris made the decision that none of the multi-crew ships would be in until there was multi-crew queuing for the matches. And I think personally the Vanguard should count as that, since you can't use that bloody turret without another crew member.
That's right. Well, I don't know. Can you? I thought you could lock it and...
No, it doesn't. You can't even fire it without another crew member.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there a couple of different things with that too, I think, and this begs the question of about the whole PU versus Arena Commander and whatnot. I think we've seen all the time leading up to now, before we had the baby PU or whatever you want to call it for our Crusader Persistent Universe little niche of the universe that we have so far. A lot of the ships they've been balanced based on Arena Commander. And that's where the missile nerfs came from. That's where all the other things, because it didn't function well in that environment. When you're in a 16x16 fishbowl and you have missiles that have endless flight times almost and stuff, it wasn't really fair. It wasn't a good little tournament aspect. But we're seeing the reverse now. Now where they balanced all this stuff in Arena Commander and it doesn't work in the PU.
And missiles are worthless in the PU.
They're entirely worthless. I mean, they're a nice little commodity and they make pretty sounds and noises and beautiful little explosions by themselves, but they don't hit anything.
But
yeah, they do.
Very rarely.
They hit each other all the time.
You have to target when the ship's coming towards you, and when it gets pretty close, then you fire, because they can't do chaff from in front of them and they don't have time to avoid it. That works pretty well.
But if you go too fast, you run into your own missiles too.
Yeah.
Well, I was having some success with it when everybody else is missing, and I know what you mean, because I was missing before I started trying.
Usually engaging other players, though, it seems like they're very, as a whole, ineffective. I mean, from where they need to be. But now on my whole plays, we're seeing the reverse. We're seeing ships that were designed for the persistent universe aspect, and now, like the Vanguard, they shove an Arena Commander where it has no real place, and it's just like it throws the whole game off. So, do you guys think that we should maybe do something different as far as, should they take the time to balance out both ships for both type of areas? Should they eliminate certain ships from Arena Commander, or what do you think they should be doing to fix that? Go ahead,
Calix actually talked about that on Reverse the Verse today. I don't know if you guys saw it, but part of the problem with the Vanguard in general is it was built with the new item port system.
Yeah.
But the new item port system isn't in game yet, so they basically had to shoehorn in the weapons and the shields and whatnot. So it's all wonky on that aspect of it right now. Is it's built for a balance that doesn't exist yet. They had to shoehorn in the flight characteristics. It's literally using a copy and paste of the Hornet's flight characteristics, just with a reduced top speed. The weapons are they say M5SA, but they have the exact same stats as the M4A, so they are not a different weapon at all, just a different model. Things like that. Same with the reason why the shields are so wonky is it has 2 shields, but it does not have the underlying functionality to properly run those 2 shields.
Yeah.
So that's the other aspect of that, is that we are flying ships, like you said, that were balanced for a different version of the game, essentially.
Absolutely.
That ship was built for a separate version of the game that is not fully out yet, and they were thrown together, and the results were not very pleasant.
Yeah, that's the same thing. That's almost like the Constellation issues you see, where if anything comes up to the Constellation that has ballistic capability, it just shreds it instantly. Whereas you could check on it all day with lasers, and it's like you're not going to do anything to it hardly. It's just one of those things. Go ahead, Kato.
Yeah, can I talk about this a little bit?
Yeah.
My thing about this whole situation is, realistically, I think balancing right now is kind of a moot point. And Eric might disagree with me with this because he's a big Arena Commander player, but I think at this stage of the game, like, balancing really should not be a priority. Functionality, absolutely, things should work, but as far as tweaking and balancing and stuff, I don't think that should be a huge priority right now in the development process, whether it's in the PU or Arena Commander. Realistically, just fix the physics grid, fix things. Don't worry about hit point numbers and that kind of thing.
Right.
I mean, it's an alpha, and optimizing for what's currently in game. Whenever you release something else, all your balancing data, all your data and all that stuff goes out the window. It's no longer relevant. So I think balancing right now is just...
Because they want people to play.
They do want to play. And Arena Commander is one of the more developed aspects of, like, the game as a whole. Now, whereas I don't take part in it, I understand why other people want to, because they have some sort of balance of play. It's not like going out and trying to do a mission like Stoutman does inside the PU and then have 5 assholes like me run up and just blow them up in the middle of space. In Arena Commander, you know what you're getting. You're in there for combat. You start out fairly evenly, so to speak, and you can come in and you can play the game. Now, there's issues with it, that's true. But I agree with Cato, the aspect that I think balancing is silly right now. But also from the other perspective, you don't really even need to worry about balancing. I mean, they got to get the things working the way they're supposed to work. I mean, the ships don't even have the right mechanics based on the ship yet. I think once they get it to where they want that ship to function, then don't worry about balancing. But you can't have the Vanguard flying like a Hornet. It just doesn't make sense.
Part of the reason why they're balancing, this is one of those confused things. A lot of us as players think they're balancing for us to make the game more fun for us. Actually, Calix and Matt are pretty much the only 2 people focused on balancing, Matt Sherman and Calix Renault. And they are doing it because they are also the 2 people focused on building the new physics-based damage system. And they want a baseline for that damage system where they're going to look at that and say, okay, this is where we start out with, this is where we think things are good with our old system. Let's emulate that in the new system and see how it works. And that's part of the reason they're doing it. The other reason is if things are wildly unbalanced, people stop playing and they stop getting test results. So that there is all those situations too where, the Tempest Commander or Sledge Commander, when people were driven off by the thousands from the game for months on end, they had to do something. They had to go in and fix it so that they could get the results they needed so that they could do other stuff.
Yeah. Well, at that point, too, that was their only platform to get results was Arena Commander. Now we have more avenues to do that. So maybe balancing in the same way what they were doing when we only had Arena Commander doesn't make sense now, because you have players playing in the PTU, you have players playing in the live server, and you have people playing Arena Commander in both. So it's one of those things where I think balancing can come in different aspects and stuff. I don't know. I mean, how much time has everybody else logged in Arena Commander? Because I know that's not my main avenue by any means. I know Eric has tons of hours.
Well over 1,000 hours at this point.
I'd say so. Sophie, have you logged any time? I want to know if Sophie's logged any time in Arena Commander at all.
She has
1 million.
1 million hours. So
no, actually, I use Arena Commander to practice.
Do you?
I come and go out of it, so
yeah.
I appreciate that it's there.
I think it's good as a simulator. I just personally I got burnt out on it right off the bat. It was just kind of a respawn thing. But yeah, I think for testing ships and stuff, I wish you could do private matches where you could set it up a little bit easier in Arena Commander. I think that would be
You could do one-on-one with somebody in a friend in Arena Commander.
You can.
I've done that.
You can. I don't think it's set quite the way I'd like it, but yes, you can.
Well, then you keep it simple, and it's somebody you know, and you don't have somebody coming in doing weird stuff. If you're trying to test out a new build or try out a new ship or something, where you want to be able to be left alone and actually try it, but still have combat, not just free flight. You know, and getting back to how they're not balancing it, trying to constantly balance it. They're adding stuff so fast. First of all, you can't balance it that quick, and changing one thing is going to change something else that they don't want. Like Brian was talking about a lot of this last night. Is there every time they add a new ship, it throws off the balance on every ship in the game, because all the ships are so different, you know. And until we get most of the ships in there, you're not really going to have a chance to do any real balancing.
Yeah.
And the wave 3, 4, and 5 ships were all built differently than the wave 1 and 2 ships, and I believe the wave 3, 4, and 5 ships each were built differently than their respective waves. That doesn't help either, you know.
Absolutely.
You got different ships, different ship design styles, how they operate, etc.
Well, they've just now started to get the style guides in line, right? I mean, they're just, because that's what they talk about. It's like just now we know how we want to stylize them, so they've had to go back through, and you know, in most games it would just be a skin, right? But in this game, the style, you have the underlying components, the way they function, everything in Star Citizen underneath what we just see on the outside is real. It's really functioning in that method. If you cut a certain type of component out of the ship, it impacts the entire ship. It's not just an animation. So when you change style, you have to move components around. You have to do different aspects of the ship that are actually impact the flight of the ship itself.
There's two things that we've recently seen that illustrate why they have to do this and how it can change so wildly. And that's, first of all, the missiles. In Arena Commander, the missiles there was a point where it was pretty much impossible to avoid them unless you were one of like 10% of the pilots out there who spent all their time, like me, who spent all their waking time in Arena Commander learning how to avoid the damn things. But at the same time, the QA guys were saying, we're not seeing this in testing. We're not seeing what you guys are talking about. We can avoid them fine. Now that we've gone but they went ahead and they turned it down, they toned it down, made it harder for them to track you. Now we hit the persistent universe, and we realized why the QA guys weren't seeing it, because they were testing probably with the same rule set as 2.0, not the rule set as 1.3 or whatever. And we see in the persistent universe, it is stupidly easy to dodge those missiles if they track you at all.
And they don't have flight time either. I mean, flight time's a huge issue in the bigger area, right? Because just simply, if you go from a 16K arena to like something that vast as what we have in the PU, you need that huge flight time. You're not just running in circles. You could try to fly straight out.
And another example of that is the mass the mass to weight ratio for controlling speeds. In the persistent universe, that worked great. Yep. But you put that in the arena and you damage somebody and they lose mass, and suddenly they're doing 500 meters per second in a 10-kilometer arena. It doesn't work.
That's right.
That's
very true.
So they just yanked that out entirely and said, no, we're not. We got to figure out a way to better balance this out.
I'm curious. In Arena Commander, do we have the 2 missile limit just like
yes.
they do?
Yes.
What? How do you guys feel about that?
I think that's needed.
Really?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's not a whole lot of skill in locking your missile onto a target and shooting the missile, and I mean, there's not a lot of skill to that. So, I appreciate it.
Remember the Connie video of him just,
But you could dodge every one of those. The only thing I ever worked on was an NPC.
Yeah, but once the game goes live anyways, you're only going to be able to do so much stuff at one time.
Yeah.
2 missiles seems to be, right on par.
I think that's good. I wish that they allowed you to shoot more and like destroy your missile launchers or something.
It's just you can't do it with stock equipment.
Yeah.
Oh, I got you.
And that's actually, I would prefer if they even took it one step further and made the baseline for non-military targeting systems be 1 missile. It's really kind of hard to justify having a non-military targeting system that can operate 2 missiles at once if you have some ships with a low-level military targeting system that can also only do 2 missiles at once. The reason why the 325A can do 4 is because it has the Will Stop targeting package, which is an upgraded military package. But I don't see any reason why, your stock F7C, your stock Gladius, all those things should only be able to launch one at a
time. General purpose ship overall, right? So.
Right. But now if you have the military
barrage.
version of the Constellation, of course the military version of the Constellation should be able to launch more because it should have better tracking software.
Absolutely.
That's the idea.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think you're good on
say
that.
325 can lock on all force missiles to 4 separate targets and fire.
Yeah. That's pretty crazy.
Which is splendid.
Which is really fun because I used to do that sort of stuff in like fighter jet games. Just lock on to 4 targets. Bye.
Yeah, I think it's interesting that I think that's an interesting aspect that Eric brings up though about civilian systems versus military, because since we only get one variant inside the universe right now at a time, and we don't have the other variants, we'll probably see even more balancing that will need to happen down the pipeline. Because I mean, we don't want to get like all the versions of the Connie or all the versions of this and it all be the exact same. I think the only ship that we can really see the variation in right now is probably the Hornets, right? The difference between the Super Hornet and the regular Hornet. I mean, I don't think there's anything else in the universe that has multiple variants where you see a significant difference in the way they fly.
Oh, the Auroras,
I
all
guess
the other
LN,
Auroras compared to the LN,
yeah.
it's a whole different ball game with the LN than it is with the other Auroras.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but those are older ships that are mature and well tested and pretty much have all the bugs worked out.
Yeah.
You know, they've got the advantage of that. That's why I like taking the Hornet, the Super Hornet all the time, because the damn thing just works.
Well,
you know?
And it's also the most OP ship there is right now for what you can use. It's currently the flavor of the month, in my opinion.
Well, just stay out of my way, okay?
Because you see everybody out there, it's like with the Super
Although
Hornet ship.
Shadow Spear does sort of bring up something that I don't like about this new missile restriction, and that is before this, I could always tell who the easiest kill was going to be in Arena Commander because he was the guy that locked all of his missiles on me and fired all at once.
Yeah.
That was a clear indicator that this guy didn't know how to use the missiles, probably didn't know how to fly or fight very well, and as soon as I dodged him, I was going to go after that guy to get my free points. Yeah. So there is that downside. Now I have to actually pay more attention to figure out who the easy kill is going to be.
You got to identify easy kills. That's always a problem there, right? So, yeah, and he brings up another point with the whole, once missiles start costing actual UEC and there's actual money, I mean, that's going to go a lot into our weapon selection and what's going to happen with all that. I think that's going to be across the board. That's going to be really interesting. When even bullets, like, will Sophie really be able to camp out inside?
Yes,
with infinite ammo when it costs her money? Or will she have Toy Grubbin run into the Quick Trip down the street to go get more ammo so that way she can continue her massacre inside
resupply money?
So it'll be
I can't do that. She'd shoot me in the back.
Yeah, she'd probably be like, is that Toy? Is that... I don't know.
Actually, that did happen. That did happen.
So, yeah. I think they should be able to do wounded battles, like where they could revive you on the ground. Like you could wound him in the knee and then identify if it's Toy.
I'm not dead yet.
There you go.
Well, you just take a Cutlass Red there, and everybody agrees not to blow it up, so everybody can just respawn there and start again. That's what you do.
Yeah, I don't do those artificial. We agree to disagree to not do this. It's like Eric knows. Eric even has a conscience. He was last night sitting there trying to shoot at people, and he's like, "Should I kill that guy right there?" I'm like, "Absolutely." Absolutely, just do it right now.
Yeah, Mitauchi was basically being the evil little devil in my ear on Discord. Yeah, kill him.
Yeah,
like, he hasn't done anything to me.
He wouldn't get the statement all like, just murder him. It's all right, just kill him. It's okay, we'll forgive you.
When Sophie first started, she wouldn't kill anybody. Now it's like she fires as soon as she zones in.
Yeah.
You know what happened? I took the Freelancer out the first time. It was my multi-cruise ship. I was so proud of it. Took it out for a spin, and some guy was on the landing pad, and I was like, I don't know who you are, but come on aboard. So the guy came on board. We flew over to a Korea area, and I got shot in the face. I died. I learned a lot from that experience.
Yeah. So Sophie was so nice until she was betrayed by a random, and then it went all bad
really
from there.
hurt. I was upset about that. So now it's fair game. So if you come on my screen and we're not on Discord or TeamSpeak, you're dead.
There you go. Just put you down quick and cold. No, I swear I see her on her screen.
But with compassion, also, just
Oh, I know. She makes sure you're down too. She'll walk over your body and pick a couple extra bullets in you to make sure you're totally out. So,
just so you don't suffer. Right?
Yeah, she
make sure you're done wiggling.
There you go. Oh my gosh.
I got the Sophie supply right here.
Oh, you do? There you go.
Excellent.
Nice. All right. Well, we've seen. What do you guys think we'll start to see happen next as far as developmentally? I know Brian couldn't reveal a lot. He's he's restricted on what he can and can't say. I know me and Eric have talked at hand about the zoning and the party system and stuff like that we all really want to see. I mean, what do you think, Toy, that we're going to see pop up next that they're going to be really focused on that we'll see? Not necessarily background, but we'll actually see in the next builds, probably.
Well, they definitely said the party system, but I think Kabbalah will be coming right with it, too. They really want to get that out, so...
Yeah.
Kabbalah outlet.
Oh,
So those are going to be coming really soon.
But that means purchasing and currency
Yep.
and and character customization, which is good.
It's
which
really
means
good.
Missions are going to pay finally. That'll be nice.
Economy. That is the biggest thing I'm looking forward to is actually being able to complete the missions and earn some credit. You know, I know they're going to wipe all the credit away eventually, but and we haven't seen like all the speculation. Well, and the only thing we've really been fed for an economy is kind of it's based off of a board game that they played a while back and
2 years ago now, I think.
Right, and
you can check that out, guys. If you have, if you are subbed and you have Jump Point, you can go back and check that issue out. It is actually a pretty good read to see how they played through that. I liked that read because that was before I started.
But yeah, I think it's about time that they put something in, just to get something ironed out, some sort of economy. I think that'll be coming pretty soon.
Well, they said it was all done.
They were saying that they were going to really try to get in, like, the very, very basic trading system in, too.
Yeah. And I agree. I think that's probably going to be the next major addition. When I say major, like gameplay element, not new ship, not new planet or whatnot, but next major gameplay element is probably going to be some form of currency exchange in the game that we earn currency from the missions. Mm-hmm. We can maybe even it'll start costing us money at the repair station. I think that would be really cool.
Yeah, we need some sort of direction and purpose, and money and an economy will actually drive that a little bit more and make it more immersive for people. Plus, it'll make it more personal because I'll be like, well, I can kill and steal more money than Eric can, So we'll try to get stuff out there.
That's an easy goal setting method, is to add a payment for missions and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, during today's reverse, they did mention that the cargo system's just about ready to be put in, and they're really wanting to get that in too. So, so Kabbalah, the party system, and the cargo systems, those are lining right up here.
Yep.
I think the cargo and economy are going to go in at the same time.
Somebody in the 2.1, I think 1A or patch or something like that. One of the 2.1 patches, somebody found that they've already have the large hangar sections added for larger ships like the Starfarer.
For the Starfarer, yep.
Right.
Yeah.
I wonder if the Crucible's going to fit in too.
That'd be cool. Oh, the Crucible should fit the Starfarer does. The Starfarer.
Yeah,
the Starfarer is bigger than the Crucible, I think.
Yeah. Oh, really? Okay, then good, recovered. I got a Crucible, so I need to know that.
There you go.
For all intents and purposes, everything that needs to be for us to have the Starfarer appears to be in the files right now. Yeah. It seems to me, from what I've seen in there, that all they have to do is flip the switch, the proverbial switch that says if you have a Starfarer, it can appear in your hangar now.
Oh, that's exciting.
It looked like it was, based on what's in there, that it was pretty much probably 99% there to be hangar ready.
I think they'd probably want to hold on that till they're almost ready for to at least think in the background on how it's going to work, because everyone's immediately going to be like, okay, so when's the flight ready? When's the flight ready? The minute it hits the hangar, that'll be the next business. So we're going to have it next week, right? Get a flight next week? So.
Well, right now, there's not they don't even know. I don't even think there's a place in it for it to spawn. It's too damn big. You could put it on the pads.
No, there is a place for it to spawn on. Right. Port Orsol has ports.
Like docking ports. That's right.
How it was going to dock.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Wouldn't give any info on it.
Gosh, that's going to be so awesome, though. What's up?
The Starfarer is bigger than the Crucible.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and it says 90 meters, but it's probably bigger than that.
I mean, I think it's grown in size greatly between the times we saw it last. So
yes, it has.
It's huge ship now. I mean, if you even look at the storage facility on it, which I don't know if we have a link, I'll pull it up real quick here. but it's pretty big.
They were showing some screenshots of it. It looks like it's got a huge cargo area in the center too,
massive cargo area,
and lots of hallways. So it's pretty big.
It's probably about the same size as the Idris was intended to be.
Yeah,
we'll see when we get there.
Which is about 124 meters.
Yeah, I remember when the Idris was only 100 meters long.
Yep.
It was basically a cruiser, and then it went a lot bigger all of a sudden.
Yeah, everything went bigger. I mean, everything has gotten bigger over time.
Quite a bit bigger.
I think the Carrack is slightly bigger than the 890 jump, CZAP. I remember they said you could technically fit 2 Connies inside a Carrack, and you could only technically fit 1 inside a 890.
I don't think they've updated the screens on the Starfarer. Not on the actual ship thing.
No.
Because they got the old ones, because this is the old small screens here. This is kind of a throwback. I don't even remember. I'll pull it up on the screen here.
Yeah, they're not updating any of the ship matrix stuff. I think they should get. I think they should at least keep it a little bit closer than they are, even though it's going to change.
Well, I mean, these are way old screens. Like, look how tiny this was.
Yeah.
Where this, like, there's the mini bathroom galley, and it's so much bigger than this now.
That's the captain's quarters now.
Yeah. That's crazy. That's so small compared to what they got it at now. Yeah, I'll have to find that screen and pull it up for the end of the show. But yeah, I think the Starfarer is going to be interesting. I'll probably be with the same people like I complain about and talking about how I'm crying that the occupational stuff's not out there yet. And I know they got to work on developing all this stuff. I just want it so badly. I want to be able to go out and get the gas and refine it inside the ship. I want to be able to go out and salvage. I want to be able to do those things and have those type of jobs, which starts to make the universe even more fleshed out. Do you guys think at what point we're going to see NPCs start to enter the mix on the live server? Do you think they're going to wait quite a bit longer?
The monthly report said they were just fleshing out a new animation tech that allows the NPCs to look more lifelike based on their AI responses, which suggests they're going to try to shove it in as soon as possible.
Yeah, because I mean I think that'll add a dynamic, especially in even in ArcCorp and stuff, where you have more NPC interaction instead of these static NPCs that are just lifeless standing there like mannequins. I'd like to see some of that tech start to come in and see how much that slows down the servers or the instances, and see how that works out as well. Because I know right now, like Togar was saying, that the Frankfurt office has been working hard on the AI, but they're kind of hitting it on both ends, right? Because they're trying to work on that, also increase the amount of players that can enter the instance altogether. I mean, they're fighting on both sides of that. You
got different teams working on each of those. It's not a problem to work on it at the same time. It's not like everybody works on one thing altogether.
No, exactly. But you still have to. They're going to directly impact each other, I guess is my point. I mean, because right now, like we said in our previous show, if you have an NPC inside the universe, that NPC is fully fleshed out as an actual person almost. All their ship is an actual exact same detail schematic as a player ship. So when you spawn at a comlink a group of ships to fight, that's like spawning 6 to 8 players fighting you all of a sudden. So it's impacting the server on the net side, that type of detail.
But the NBC does not require to be constantly monitoring for input from a player. So it does take up less resources and bandwidth overall.
Yes, you are correct. Absolutely. But as far as the physical asset and entity, it's in there. It just doesn't require that constant communication back and forth from us, from the client side. So.
And that's one of the things I love about this. I don't know if any of you guys have attempted this, but a couple times you'll run across NPCs that for whatever reason the AI has failed and they just float there. Mm-hmm. So one of the times that happened, I EVA'd over to try to get inside a ship. I couldn't get inside a ship, but there actually was somebody in there, an actual player character, looked just like one of ours. And when I was floating around the ship, his head was following me because he was still trying to target my ship, and he was
crazy. That's crazy.
And I was just like, are you kidding me? Wow. He wasn't looking at me, he was looking at the other ships that were flying around. But yeah, he was actually looking at the ships.
He was having that interaction. That's crazy. Yeah.
I mean, it's that kind of detail and stuff that for the most part we'll never see. But that's kind of part of the Chris Roberts experience.
But it's also they're fleshed out for future. As new tech comes online and stuff, they can just it's like, oh, that's already in. We just couldn't turn that aspect on with everything because we didn't have the fidelity then or the ability to do it then. But now it's already written into the code. I mean, that guy will do that. So I wonder how many. That'd be a great question for Brian too. I wonder how much tech they have to turn off that they've already developed and figured out how to do to just sustain stuff. Because like he said, Stout and everybody, they've only showed us like 1% of like a little tiny bit of like all the stuff they've done. I mean, that amount of tech that's in the background working that is just amazing to me. And it's like, I can't believe how many things they probably have to dumb down just to fit in for what we have right now, that they're like, oh, that'd be really awesome when that comes online. We have like NPCs that interact and they'll cook meals with you and, all this other stuff already. So,
well, they've talked about how they've got temporary systems in there on a lot of things, like the repair bots at the cryo stations. Those are just temporary. They're going to replace them with something else. They've done that a lot just to get it going. Just like with the heads-up display HUDs, and most of the ships are temporary. They're going to get replaced with something better.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so what do we think we've already talked about a little bit about what we're looking forward to on that. I want to know, Sophie, what are you looking forward to next? Like, what do you hope you see the next thing? You want
more guns to kill people in more brutal ways.
Yeah, I'm ready to see a female character.
Female character?
Yep. Yeah. Yep.
So,
it would be nice to have more than one look or anything, and especially a female character would be nice.
Yep, and I know it's challenging. It's not, you can't just reproduce the male form and get that walking and flying and get it in a cockpit. So I know it's a challenge. So I'm not bent out of shape about it. I'm just really looking forward to when that happens.
Yeah.
Eric wants the microwave cannon thing.
Oh God, yes I do. I want that thing.
The microwave cannon?
Did we just go from female characters to a microwave cannon?
Oh, it just
is that what just happened right now?
I think
just
like
referencing the guns, yes, but not in that way. The microwave cannon is for cooking people, not meals, and it was brutal. They had it. Ilphonic demonstrated it, when they first started out, and it was just nasty looking. And then we never heard about it ever since then.
Well, they did show. They showed like a little picture of it in the monthly report this month, but it wasn't like a full. It wasn't a full render though. It was just for like the cargo section.
Oh
yeah, it was in the cargo box. Yeah,
that's funny.
Gotcha.
Then you still got the Devastator electric shotgun.
Yeah, I think Toy will be safe as long as Eric doesn't bring up a sandwich cannon or anything like that and starts talking about all of it's like.
Hey, actually, Mitauchi, can you pull up the picture of the female bounty hunter?
Yeah, I could probably do that.
It's pretty badass.
Speaking of the monthly report and female characters, they did say that they had just they had either finished or almost finished fixing the walk animations, which is what's been holding them back on the female characters. And trying to find the actual words on it. But the basics of it is, I don't know how this happened, but this is what the art people said a couple months back. For whatever reason, all of their motion capture of the female character, the generic female character, was done with her wearing heels. And as anybody knows, if you walk in high heels, you do not walk the same way you walk flat-footed. So they started to apply these skeletons to these models they had made, and they didn't work, because the person looked like she was trying to break her knees to walk around. So at first they were going to go and they were going to fudge it so that every single female character was actually wearing heels but looked like she was flat-footed. And since then, it seems they've tried to merge the two skeletons together so that they can walk with flat feet as well as high heels. And that's what they've been.
And I also think there was with that there is an issue with locomotion and the actual body armor and the clothing that's on the female and how that moves is differently than the male. So I know that it's more challenging to get a female character up and running in a smooth way than it is a male.
And make it look real instead of like what most games do, which is basically just copy it and change some of the curve settings.
Yep. I mean, I really feel that Star Citizen, and this is one of my biggest, cheerlead things in my head, is that I really think that they're paying attention to, getting a female character out there that's not just skin and heels, but who's actually going to be clothed appropriately, to be sitting in a cockpit, who's going to, have everything at her ready that she needs in order to do the jobs that she needs, mining, piloting, search and rescue, whatever it is. And so for me, that's what I'm hanging on to, because that thrills the hell out of me.
Armor.
There's so many versions of it on here. I don't know which one's the right
so those
version.
are actually more fan versions. If you go to that first one there that I can see on your screen, it's more of a blue in the background.
Yeah, this one here?
It's got this... let me look on over here where you are. Nope.
I think the one on the left.
Yeah, so...
Yeah, they're left.
Keep going. It's the very first one there.
That one.
Yep, that one. So the one that I've got posted that I use as my avatar. So that's actually a Star Citizen one, and then the one right before that is the Bounty Hunter.
Oh.
Right before her. Yep, click that.
Oh. This one right here.
Right here.
There's like a delay,
so
one, she's telling you to click what you were over.
No, click this one. No, that one. This one. This
oh
one.
yeah, so I can't see you over here, but
I know.
It's the very first one in that lineup there, and she's standing there. Yep, that's correct.
Okay, I got that one. We'll blow it up there.
And yeah, I think it was Zealous brought up something that's going to be nice too, is that they are actually making real armor for these characters, not the cheesy, Xena warrior princess armor.
I was gonna say there's a lot of skin in this sketch right here, so that's a little bit different.
There is, but it's just the very beginning of a. Yeah. It's a.
Well, bounty hunters are always differently dressed anyway, for men and women. They're not usually dressed like fully militarized and all that. They're a little more organic.
Right.
No Transformer-sized shoulder pads.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep. And no exaggerated body parts just because you want to make sure people know it's female under the armor.
Yeah,
that's exactly right.
That irks me so much because, I can't recall a single female that I served with in the Army when we put body armor on her that she looked like one of those characters in science fiction and fantasy with everything sticking out. She looked just like us, other than she probably had a more feminine face underneath that helmet. Yeah. And
it's honestly, Eric, I hear you on that totally. It's really irritating to put your avatar together and you have the option, and I get it, customization is important, but I don't give a shit about my boob size when I'm trying to kill a Vanduul. I just don't. And I want function over, that whole, I don't need to be appealing. I need to be functional.
I will put this out there. I will have no problem with them having some sort of armor sets like that as long as we can have a male equivalent because I want like a big old cod piece and
absolutely eat it
and all that. Yeah,
dude, I can
especially you. Absolutely,
exactly. Just walk
balance
around.
It out. I mean, I agree with you. Totally.
Well, don't forget all the guys that are going to want to play a sexy girl character so they can get free stuff from other people.
Oh my god! Don't get me started.
That works so well in MMOs too. I have a buddy who does that on WoW. He role plays as a female just to get stuff given to him.
Yeah. That's an old trick.
Eric, didn't you do that too? I know there's a photo floating around somewhere where I've seen you dressed up like a Viking princess or something.
That's not role playing. That's who I really am.
That's real life.
That's me.
That's real life.
Yeah.
Right on. All right. Let's see. Well, we talked a little bit about the economy. We talked a little bit about the cargo aspect of things, and I think there was one thing that was brought up last night. Was it last night that you talked to Brian Stout?
Yeah,
I'm so disoriented right now. But last night, I think that one thing I found interesting in that conversation when he was talking about one of the things he was really excited about when that question was posed to him was the ability to fly around with Stoutman and be able to like kill pirate NPCs and scoop their cargo and do that sort of thing. That was kind of left out there, and I was like, that's going to be a really interesting aspect for the economy, but I wonder how they're going to really pull that off with guys like me out there that will probably kill the guy who killed the guy to get the cargo, and then somebody's going to kill me to kill the guy to get the cargo, and I think you're going to end up with like a little mean arena commander out there by killing everybody to get the cargo out of the last guy.
Well, you're going to have people finding cargo that's been floating from somebody else, blowing somebody else up, and you're not even going to know who took the cargo. That's who you want to be.
Yep,
Midbot just timed me out for trying to post that picture of me.
I put it up for you. There we go. There we go. And you can see there where Eric goes a little special on
That's me. That's how I normally look when I'm not in costume for
That's a
the
great picture. Look at you.
for my streams.
Yeah,
Dude,
people give me
I
all
am
the gold.
I am
for it,
way
too.
hotter than you when I'm posing on a Hornet. Let me tell you.
That's true. I would
That's true.
show that picture, but I don't want to get banned by Twitch.
we don't want to get shut down.
We don't want to get shut down because we're showing that. So that would be a bad deal.
By the way, if Brian does somehow come up with a way to get those T-shirts made, Stout Man, I am buying one. I'm going to buy like 5. I'll wear one every night I stream.
That'd be amazing.
With the Stout Man Hornet Girl. Oh yeah, I'd wear that.
Not with my face, with her face. Just Miss Hornet T-shirt.
Oh, okay,
Miss
Hornet.
I want the Stoutman variant.
I want the Stoutman.
Maybe it'll be like a Velcro add-on. You can just take on and off.
Just a pat.
Depending upon your mood that day.
You get that that blue tack putty and just there.
There you go.
Yeah,
All right, guys.
Brian said he modified that picture some more, but I haven't seen the new version yet.
We'll have to see that.
Eventually, I'll get it from him. He just hasn't mailed it to me yet.
Oh, they're perfecting it. They have a whole art team on it right now.
As they should.
It's like break time, guys! Quick, get Stoutman. We got to work on the Hornet Stout. It'd be great. All right, guys. I think we've run it long enough for tonight for this episode of Space Bro Show. What we will do though is if anybody wants to hang out in Skype still, and if you guys in chat have any questions or anything, I'm gonna kill the stream right now so I can get this one posted out. But we'll still be here for a little bit, at least some of us. If you guys want to talk or anything in chat, because I've seen a lot of people make comments and want to ask questions in there and stuff, and we kind of don't interface with chat till the after show. So if anybody wants to hang out for a few minutes afterwards and see if anybody wants to talk to the chat or anything, that's cool. Otherwise, I think we're going to go ahead and cut this one off for the moment. So, all right, guys.
Well, thanks for having us.
Yeah,
Appreciate
thanks,
that.
Kato, Sophie,
Yep,
Stout, Toy, Zealous, Eric. Man, it's a mouthful there. We got everybody here. Thank you so much, guys, for taking the time out, and hopefully you guys will be able to tune in with us again next week, and we'll see what we can do every week on Fridays. It's good.
All right.
All right, guys. We'll see you.
Thanks,
we'll see you all
guys.
later. We'll be right back on the air here in a second, guys.